I'm not here to show off my fancy stuff. I'm just a middle class ordinary woman. We as a community have problem.
Last 7 months, how much have you grown from?
100k. It's my choice to come here and live here. Doesn't mean that I should give up my culture.
Do you feel there's a toll of emotional weight?
During the festivals, that is the time it hits us the hardest. No family support, no friends, and it's not easy to do justice to both these worlds.
Your kids are also foodie?
They are.
And your partner?
हम लोग खाने के लिए जीते हैं.
Teach our audience. Easy thing to say in Marathi.
जेवलीस का.
You had said this earlier. You just don't create content for the sake of creating content. You create content with purpose. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Australia Unfiltered, where we have candid and insightful conversations with people living in Australia. Before we get started, we have to give a shout out to our sponsors, Dropout Chaiwala, for fueling us. You have no idea how hot it gets with the lights here. So thank you so much, Dropout, for fueling me and our guests throughout the podcast. And Cookie Co, they have been our supporters since day one, so our A1 since day one. And Aussies Group, you're looking at the space? It is because of them. So thank you, Aussies Group. And most importantly, you guys. If it wasn't for you watching these videos and subscribing to us, we wouldn't be able to create more of this. And if you're watching it and haven't subscribed yet, go subscribe now. Today's episode is really special because it's not just with an influencer, it is with a content creator who is driven by impact and purpose. She's been able to win the hearts of 100,000 people like us because she is just like you and me, sharing her tradition and her culture and being true to herself. Today we get to know why she does, where she learned all of it, and what's her purpose. So let's welcome Shweta Sakode. Welcome, Shweta, to Australia Unfiltered. We're so glad to have you on our show today.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure to have you. And thank you for reaching out. Just an audience for you to let you know. Shweta just messaged me on Instagram. She's like, oh my God, I would love to be on your podcast. And she wanted to share about her culture and traditions and why she creates content. And today, I think it was a week ago, in a week's time, we are here together in the podcast studio shooting. So that was amazing. Thank you for coming. Thank you for
so
reaching
much.
out.
Thank you.
Let's dive directly to the question because I am really eager to know why you create content. And I'd say you're one of the fastest growing content creators. In recent times, I think in the last 7 months, how much have you grown from, if I can ask you?
100k.
100k. And where did you start from? Like, where were you 7 months ago?
It was under 1,000.
Under 1,000 to now 100k. Wow.
Yeah.
That's not an easy thing to do.
Thank you.
So I'm going to ask you, what do you share? What's your content like? What do you share? What's it all about?
It's about everything. Like it's mostly like bits and pieces of life in Australia. From there to, sharing culture and festivals and events and beautiful culture, rich culture, heritage. Plus some of the recipes, authentic recipes that we have.
Okay.
The Indian recipes especially. That's pretty much it.
And why do you share about this culture and tradition in life? Like, what's the reason? Is there a reason or you just randomly do it?
Look, I do get this question asked a lot of times. It's one of the most favorite questions I get asked. I wish I could just share content related to, traditions, rituals, and festivals all the time. But it just kind of gets a bit too much on my feed. So I try to break it up with other things.
Yep.
And to answer your question, like, why do I really share content related to, my traditions, rituals, and festivals is because I truly enjoy them.
Yep.
I truly, truly love it. Like, it's not something that I've, that I've learned it as a new skill or I pretend to enjoy it. It's something that comes to me really naturally.
Yep.
And after a point in life, I think it all comes down to what's important to us and what you want to prioritize. If something truly matters to you, you will always make time for it.
Yeah.
It's like for you might do 10 important, amazing things in your life, which I don't. And that is purely because you enjoy doing that.
Yep.
It's as simple as that. For me, staying connected to my roots has always been an important part of my life, even before I had an account on Instagram.
Okay.
So initially I used to share content related to, my personal life, like just to, document my life there on social media.
The typical everyone does that thing.
Yeah. Like Diwali I hai, you post a photo, and other festivals you post a photo. But then later on I started feeling like a lot of people started to connect with it and resonate with it, and I started, build a small community around it.
Yep.
And that was the point I realized that we as a community do not have enough genuine content in that space.
Yes.
And that's a problem. Like, we have this massive, rich, beautiful cultural heritage that if we don't put into practice or if we don't share it,
Yeah.
we are going to slowly lose it. And so that was a point that I started also realizing that, there are so many people who wants to feel rooted, but they don't know how.
Yes.
So for me, I'm really glad that I found my niche in that space,
Yeah.
and I just happen to be the medium.
Yeah, true. Also, for the audience, I just want to give context. I know Shweta is a content creator, but she does a lot more. She works as a clinical researcher full time, not part time, full time. She's a mother of two kids. One is a teenager. No one's a teenager, but
No one is a
10-year-old
And a 5.
and a 5-year-old. So not an easy age to manage. Then she's a content creator who's grown to like the 100,000 followers in the 7-month span. So it's so much. How do you manage to keep balance between all of this and also be able to create content that your audience likes and appreciates while you also have so many other more commitments and responsibilities?
I think it's not easy, but also it's quite beautiful. Like, I totally have the passion, as I just mentioned, that if you really like something, you will always make sure that to find time for it and make up the time for it. And it's exactly the same happens with me as well. Because I have the passion for it, I always make time for it.
Yep.
Plus, I work from home, so it is quite easy. Like, you're right that I work in the clinical research industry for a long time now as a full-time worker, but I work from home, which gives me, I can buy extra time in the morning. There's no travel time or commute time to work, or even in the evening. Now, mornings can be a bit chaotic. I wake up every single day at 5:30 a.m.
Wow.
I don't even recall a single day in my life that I have not
What time
seen
do you sleep?
sunrise. I sleep at 9:30.
Oh, okay, fine. Makes sense.
Yeah.
You sleep at
Yeah,
9:30.
but I do not recall a single day in my life that I have not seen sunrise. And luckily, my husband is also like that. Fortunately, my kids are also early risers. So
Okay.
all of us as a family, we try to achieve a lot before in the morning, in those magic morning hours. We achieve a lot in those hours. Plus, when it's content, I try to shoot that in the quiet hours when the kids are not at home. In the evenings, once my husband's back from work, he will be like taking on to some of the responsibilities, like putting the kids to bed, or serving them dinner and all of that.
I thought you were gonna say he's your assistant carrying
He's
the camera.
He's my unpaid employee, actually. All of the situation, everywhere the situation is the same. All the husbands are unpaid and unpaid employees, I guess.
Yeah.
So evenings are the times when I do all my creative stuff. Like, I would be like doing my content writing or script writing, coming up with ideas. All of that happens in the evenings.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. And also, where did you learn about all these traditions and these ceremonies, or the culture that you talk about? Who's your inspiration? Is there an inspiration who you have?
Yeah, I do. I guess definitely from my parents is where I've learned all of this from. And I would say my mother is my biggest inspiration.
Okay.
Growing up, I have seen her celebrating even the smallest of the festivals and the rituals on the Marathi calendar.
Yep.
Like, there are some small festivals and rituals now, they are slowly fading away. Not a lot of people know about them anymore, but they're like Nag Panchami, or they are like Jyoti, Jyoti is one of a very cute small tradition which is performed by married women in Maharashtra.
Okay.
And it is performed during the time of Shravan, which is around July to August.
Yep.
And yeah, it is.
Well, what's so cute about it? I want to know more. Can you tell me what is it? What's it like?
Yeah, I think they just put a small sticker around your door, and they would be fasting that day. They will be making some diyas out of dough and all of that.
Yep.
So my mother would celebrate all of these kind of festivals. She still does it till today with full authenticity, with full devotion, and no shortcuts. I mean, she doesn't even give any excuse. Like, both of her kids now, which is me and my brother, we live in Australia, overseas here.
Oh, your brother's also here?
Yeah, so
What a lovely thing. You
yeah,
have
so
family
she
here.
doesn't even give any excuse by saying, "Arey, bacche to nahi hai, hum abhi kiske liye kare," all of that. So I mean,
Just to
her-
give you context, that means kids are here, kids are not here, then who do we do it for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, her perseverance, her dedication, her passion, and the amount of joy that she derives from all of this is remarkable.
Yeah.
And her mother, so my nani was exactly like that as well. So from what I understand from my mother's is like my nani's mother was also like that.
Yep.
So this is kind of like running in generations, and I think this is where my biggest inspiration that I derive from. Especially my father also, I feel growing up, all I remember that every couple of months he used to organize these gatherings and functions at home, which
Okay.
is like bhajans and kirtans and jagratas and
Like pujas.
puja,
Different kinds of
Satyanarayana
pujas.
Katha, and what was it? Devicha Gondhal, which I guess you guys call it as Mata ki Chauki or Mata ka Jagrata, or Parayans, Pathans, Sundarkands, Rudrabhisheks, all of that.
Different kinds of pujas, just for the audience to get a context of different pujas that happens in the Indian culture, and one of those Indian cultures, the Maharashtrian culture that Shweta belongs from.
Yes.
And then these are a part of.
Yes.
I think Indian culture is very similar, but named differently, and how they're done a little bit differently. Yeah.
Yes, and he would just organize that, and he would heavily indulge us in all of those gatherings every couple of months. He was a very strict father. Ask us to wake up at like 6:30 a.m. in the morning. He would blast this Hanuman Chalisa songs or other devotional songs in the morning, and because he just hated us to sleep. He never liked us sleeping in.
Same.
So
I think all Indian parents are the same.
Yeah, exactly the same. So this was a type of upbringing I have and I've been into.
Yep.
And believe it or not, like we as a family never went on vacations to what usually normal people would go to, Leh Ladakh, Kullu Manali, or Goa or Kerala. As a family, my father has always dragged us in school holidays to temple visits, like to Dev Darshans. And they were to, Badrinath, Kedarnath, Yamunotri, Gangotri, Amarnath, Vaishno Devi, Tirupati Balaji, Salasar ke Balaji, or, Shegaon, Shirdi.
And I've never been to, like, it's very sad to say this, but I've never been to any of these places.
This is my whole childhood. Like, believe it or not, this was the first 23 years of my life.
Okay.
That's where the majority of the inspiration comes from. Whatever I've learned, most of that comes from that time. You can say that that's when the foundation was set.
Okay.
So it's not like all of a sudden I've changed now. This is something like I've got into like all of a sudden now. I always had that in me. It's just coming to the surface now.
Okay,
So-
makes sense.
Yeah.
So I would say this 23 years of your life was out there in India. And I
Yeah.
believe after 23 years of your life, you moved to Australia.
Yes.
And it's been how many years that you've been in Australia?
13 years now.
13 years. How do you manage this dual identity? Like, 23 years there and 13 years here. It's so difficult. Like, it does make an effect and impact on your life. How do you manage this? And plus, now you have kids who are, they're Aussie Indians, I believe.
Yes.
So, how do you manage this dual identity?
I guess just by accepting it. My kids now, they are quite Aussie in their school, and at home they do the Maharashtrian stuff. So at school they like, or at the kids' friends' birthday party, they'll be like enjoying or relishing a hearty Aussie meal, which is a sausage or pasta or spaghetti or lasagna or even meat pie. But once they're back from school, they'll be like, sitting down with me to do an aarti, or light up the diya if I'm busy, or enjoy a Maharashtrian meal, whatever is cooked at home, like a roti sabzi.
What's their favorite Maharashtrian dish?
I think it's beans ki sabzi and a roti, like simple beans, the basic beans sabzi that we make
Okay.
at home, and with chapati with it. So I
I'm
guess
shocked that a kid's favorite meal is beans.
yes,
That is
yes.
the most shocking thing. Maybe you make it in a different way.
It's the most basic way that our parents, my mother used to make when I used to go to school. She used to give that to me in my dabba. So it's that basic way, and my son and my daughter loves it. And
Okay.
so I guess it's hard. I have never forced do these kind of identities on them. I really want them to feel comfortable being both.
Yep.
And it's not about becoming fully Indian, or it's not about becoming fully Australian. It's really about creating a mix that feels true to us as a family.
Yep.
Same applies to us as well, like the adults at home, me and my husband both. We enjoy the Aussie culture, like
Yeah.
in corporate events and office parties, we would indulge in the Aussie culture, like we would go in and involve ourselves or join in trivia nights or do footy tipping or involve or join in like Christmas lunches or Christmas dinners. But once we are back home, we are back to our roots,
Yeah.
and that has not changed.
Yeah.
And with time, I have learned to be okay with that kind of a fluidity in house. I know it's not easy to handle or to do justice to both these kind of worlds, but that's the beauty of it. Like, we get the best of both the worlds, and that is something I'm incredibly proud of.
Yep. It is incredible. How do you keep it alive? Like you said that you share it on your social media, but how do you keep these small cultures and traditions alive?
I think I keep them alive by just practicing it, doing it. Like, when I say doing it, I don't mean like doing it once, twice, or thrice. I mean it like doing it consistently year after year.
Yep.
So, I mean, this is the whole point of doing it. Like, we want the kids to learn the meaning of it,
Yep.
not just going through the motions.
Yeah, true.
So, when I do it, I like to keep it interactive. I like to, do a bit of a storytelling with the kids. I would talk to them who Krishna is, or who Ganpati is, or why does Ganesh have a elephant faced head, or, why is Ganpati's Vahan a mouse, or why do we celebrate Diwali, or who Lakshmi is, or all these kind of things. I talk to them like, why do we light up a diya, or why do I really and some things that I really like to emphasize is, why do I like to keep the house quiet in the evening at home. I want them to avoid fighting, yelling in the evenings at home. I want them to keep the house really clean in the evening. And that is something because उस time पे लक्ष्मी आने का घर पे time होता है. So I tell them, I explain
Just
them.
for reference,
Yeah.
before we go ahead, Lakshmi is the goddess of prosperity.
Yes, and
Yes.
wealth, yes.
Prosperity and wealth. So I think that's what you were saying, that is the time for the goddess of wealth and prosperity to enter the home.
They
Evenings.
say that she arrives at clean homes, or calmer homes in the evening.
Okay.
So I really emphasize all of that at home with the kids, that to keep the house a bit quiet, light lagaya, and then there's diya which is light up. So you just keep the house a bit quieter, no yelling, no shouting at that time. So I explain them all of these things in a way that they understand.
Yep.
Otherwise, these things come up really random or boring.
Yeah, true. No, I
And
completely
even
agree.
during the festival times, I like to create that vibe and excitement with them. Like, who wants to do Rangoli with me? And they'll be like, me, me, me. Or, I'll do the festival shopping with them. I'll take them with me, or I'll do the decoration with them. I'll prepare a festive meal with them. I'll,
Yeah.
give them hands-on experience, let them sit down with me to do all of that. In India, I guess you get all of this vibe outside only. Like,
It's you, like, if there's a festival, the minute you, even if you're not celebrating at home,
yeah.
the minute you step out of your home, I believe whichever state you belong to,
Yes.
you're like, okay, fine, I'm a part of this festival. Like, even if you don't want to
Absolutely.
celebrate, you end up celebrating
Absolutely.
it. Yes.
Here you have to take that extra effort. You have to just, take that, go above and beyond to create that vibe, that excitement in your house. And it is a bit of an effort that you have to take here. So I
It
guess,
is a bit of effort. Sorry to cut you there, but it is a bit of effort. But the other thing that happens with me, and I believe it happens with other people as well, it's not just about the effort, but it's about finding the right, what do you call? A is the guidance on how to do it.
yeah.
I think, do you showcase that on your socials or your content on how things are to be done or what is to be done?
Yeah, like I do show a little bit about the puja. Like I'm doing that with my kids. I take I'm doing the actual steps with them and all of that. I do that on my socials. That is the whole point that I do what I do, is because I want to go through the steps. And that was exactly what I was going to say to you, that kids start to observe and absorb that a lot.
Yeah.
They tend to notice what you do way more than what you say.
Yeah.
So all of these social events that are happening here in Melbourne, there's a bit of a fashion going on. Every time there's a Diwali Mela in Federation Square. There are some mandal events that happen in the north, east, west, south.
Yeah.
I think they're nice. They feel festive. It feels nice over there. But it's just a fact that sometimes I feel that they're more about the crowd, less about the meaning.
Yep. True.
They talk about the significance and all about the festival to the kids and on the stage, but they don't really go into the nitty-gritty details
Yep,
of the
true.
puja or why do you do it. So when
Yes.
I do it, I will make sure that I'm sitting down with my kids. Now, since my son, who's becoming 10 soon, he's pretty big in the age, I feel. So he will do the actual Supari Puja for me. He will do the Ganesh Vandana for me. He will get up and make the Panchamrit. He knows how to make it.
I don't even know what all these things are.
Yeah, Panchamrit is basically just mixing 5 elements together, and it's like a
Punch
sacred.
means 5. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's sacred drink that all of us, we need that in every puja, every ritual. So all of these things, this is how I keep it alive, by giving them hands-on experience, not just once, twice.
You're
but
keeping them involved.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're keeping them involved, and I think you keep your audience involved as well. But the other part about the puja, again, maybe this is a me thing, maybe it's other people as well. If you're watching, please comment down below and tell me if you also face it. Where do you buy all these things from? Like doing a puja, okay, great, but you have to buy so many like different elements
Yeah.
that need to, even the smallest element like a diya. It's so difficult if you go to an Indian store, like for example, if I want to go, there are such limited options, and I don't like the how it looks. So I'm like, forget it. I'm not gonna get it. I'd rather
Yeah.
not get something that I'm not happy with.
Yeah.
Then I want to get something like in India. You have so many options. You can just like order it online.
Yeah.
Here also you can order online, but it's not the best. Do you have any recommendations for people in Australia where they can buy these things? Because as much it is about doing it and the intention, it's also about having the right elements.
Yes, you are right. Yes, I know what you're saying. Look, I know in 2012, 2013, it was really hard to find all of these kind of things here in Australia. But these days, I think we're pretty good. Like, we get what we really want, like the basic stuff, sometimes exotic stuff. You get that in festival times here in Melbourne. There are some really good stores. The one that I go to, it's in Epping. It's a big Indian grocery store. They call it as India Gate.
Okay.
They have everything that I need. They're really good as well. You can find everything that you need. There's another store which is in Mernda. It's very close to the place where I live. They're called as A&H Grocers. Even they have a lot of stuff. Now these places, I'll tell you that I have made good connections with these people. I've made good friendships.
You're their everyday customer.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So it's like they know me, they know my journey. So they try to source it. They go above and beyond to find me and find the stuff that I need, and they'll bring it for me and whatever I need for my content creation. So it's really good. Then I also know there's one Marathi supply chain brand. It's called as Marathi Swag. They also bring a lot of good stuff here, like actual authentic Maharashtrian stuff that we really need here on day-to-day basis. They get that. And they have this online store, online website, plus a WhatsApp group. So which is amazing. Clothing, I haven't tried here as such.
Okay.
But if I were to, I will go to shops like Panache and Shelkaira. They're good boutiques here, good brands in Melbourne.
Okay, I have no idea what these brands
Yeah, they're really good. Like, I've heard good things about them. In things that I really can't find, I make it myself. I have realized that you become resourceful very quickly when it matters to you.
are. I think I'm going to use an Indian word here. It's called jugaad.
Yes, yes.
What would the English word for jugaad be? It means like resourceful. I think so. You're
Yes,
right.
yeah.
Resourceful. Yeah.
So I think I've become really resourceful in making all of these sweets and treats that I need for festivals like Diwali or Makar Sankranti. I'll just, make up those sweets now. Like, I think I never knew all of that back in India, but now I know all of that. to
Yeah,
make
I
it.
would agree. I think once you leave your home,
Yeah.
and especially your country, and you go to a new country, you have to make something like you end up learning all these skills. I never cooked back home. I never like.
Me too.
I was like,
Yeah.
cooking is not my thing.
Yeah.
I will do everything else but cooking.
Yeah.
And here, I might not be as good as the chef as you, but I have to cook. How much can I eat outside?
Yeah.
Like
It's not sustainable to eat outside.
it is
And-
not sustainable, and plus sometimes I just miss that basic food. That as you mentioned, the basic roti sabzi.
Yeah.
There's another feel to it. Like when
There
you
is
eat.
no unbeatable replacement to roti, sabzi, dal, chawal. There's no
Agreed.
replacement.
I
It's
completely
like
agree.
comfort food, and you cannot find that anywhere here, even in Indian restaurants.
I completely like it'll be very tasteful. I'm not saying it's not tasteful, but that simplicity of their home food, like it touches your soul.
It is.
It is just like it's not even fancy. And then some days you make fancy and you're like, okay, wow, I'm a great chef. But I love the basic, and I'm a khichdi girl as well. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I can have it every day, but obviously my partner doesn't, so then I don't make it.
Can you eat one meal lagatar for 5-6 days?
No.
Or? No, yeah.
I can have what's had for dinner for lunch.
Yeah.
But I can't do
7-8 days at
No.
a stretch. No.
Like I know people who meal prep on the weekend, one thing, and then they batch freeze it, and they have the same thing for the whole week. I'm like, I will get irritated.
Yes.
No,
yes.
I can't. I need change of flavor,
Correct.
and I'm a big foodie.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Like, I don't need to have crazy stuff, but like I just need to have different variety of things. Are you a food? I think you're a foodie as well.
I am a big foodie too.
Yeah.
I am. I can't eat a single thing like at a stretch for 7-8 days or something like that. I need a variety as well for myself. So
And your kids are also a foodie.
they are.
Yeah. And your partner?
They are. He is.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. हम लोग खाने के लिए जीते हैं. Yeah. That type of a family.
We live to eat.
Yes.
And we eat to live.
Yes.
Yeah. Then how do you manage this figure of yours after having 2 kids?
It's hard work. A lot of content creation in between and running around and doing office work, doing school pickups,
Do you go to
school
the gym?
drop-offs. I do.
Oh. Maybe that is also a thing. Okay, give some credit to the gym. It's not just motherhood. But anyway, getting back to our conversation, do you feel there's a toll of emotional weight, that, managing culture and managing identities and managing work and all of those things?
Yeah, I do. I think it's the toll is quite heavy. Sometimes I feel, especially during the festivals that we were just talking about, that is the time it hits us the hardest. Like during that time, you miss India, you miss family, miss back home, the people, the vibe, the noise, the feeling of being surrounded. Here, it's all on us. Like everything is on us. No family support, no friends, and no domestic help. Everything you're doing it just by yourself from the scratch. And that is a time a lot of pride comes in, because knowing that you've built all of this life yourself from scratch brings you immense pride and immense satisfaction, and that is very important for me. A lot of people actually say to me that they would often say to me that you've become more Indian once you've moved abroad. and I'm like, nothing like I've changed suddenly. It's just that I've realized how much it matters to me now.
Yeah.
And
Before you go ahead, I think I completely what you just said now. It feels like we were talking about this earlier that when you step out in India, you're a part of all the culture, and you don't even realize that you're celebrating so many festivals. You might celebrate a festival that you don't even follow because people outside are. But here, if you don't, you're either going to lose out your identity.
Yeah.
And I'm so sure most of us don't, at least I don't want to. I'm so proud to be Indian and to have that background and heritage. And you have to create that. It's a lot of effort. I know you've said it a few times. So
Yes.
It's you don't end up being more Indian, but you just have to take effort to continue being Indian.
Absolutely.
There in India, you don't need to
Yes.
take effort. So you're automatically Indian.
You don't even have to take any effort there. There's a lot of effort that goes in. So I guess that is one thing. And plus, living here is our choice. It's my choice to come here and live here. But it doesn't mean that I should give up on all the things that made me who I am.
Yes.
It does bring a lot of emotional toll by knowing the fact that you've moved countries, you've changed your careers. This is a new place, new journey. Looking after kids by yourself. Sometimes they're sick kids. There's no family support. So there's a lot that you need to do here. But at the same time, as I said, it is very powerful. That is the beauty of it.
Yeah, true.
And it does bring a lot of immense pride and immense satisfaction with it.
Yeah. It looks very beautiful, to be in a Western world. Like, wow, you have your own house, you have cars, and you have kids, and this is second home that you bought. But getting to there is not the journey that anyone sees. People are just like, oh, Shweta went to Australia. That's why it happened. But
yeah,
she made it happen in Australia. You're in an unknown land, first of all. So you don't know anyone.
Yeah.
B, you don't even know how you're going to get anywhere. You don't know suburb names, shop names. You're grown up, so you know each lane that you've grown up in. But here you have to make that of your own. So I'd say it's 10 times harder. I know people will be like, you chose it. We didn't tell you to leave. I get it, we chose it, but it's also just to remember that it is harder. It's not easy.
It's not easy.
It looks like roses and petals and flowers and everything, but there are so many thorns on the way as well. And you navigate the thorns, and that's how you get it.
Completely agree with you. Yeah. It's a hard journey. So it is just it's not about just celebrating my festivals and all of that. It's more with
celebrating these festivals, all of this is more difficult. I'm just gonna add to that, okay? I don't know how you do it. It's so difficult to make sure that this festival is coming while you have to work, while you have to create content, and then you have to manage 2 kids, and wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, so I think it's more of building our identities during that time, making sure that we're making connection with our next generation, and all of this is what it makes, all of this is what makes it worth it, I think.
Yeah, it is. I totally embrace being Indian. So honestly, I don't do as much as you. Maybe I will watch your reels, and now you're like, okay, now it's time for me to do these things. I'll learn from your reels, and I think that's what your intention is as well.
Yes.
People watch, they learn, and they do it.
Absolutely.
You had said this earlier, that you just don't create content for the sake of creating content. You create content with purpose.
It is.
And to create an impact.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Like that is so that's so powerful. It's not just like another
Exactly.
influencer. Get ready with me. Come see my traditions.
No.
Come eat this or do
I
that.
just don't have the time and energy to do all of that. I think if I'm doing this, I'm using my time for it. I want to use it really wisely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you represent the Maharashtrian culture,
Yeah.
the Marathi community. There is very less representation of that. What is the importance of it? What for you, and for the community that's outside that is outside India.
Yeah. Look, if we don't really preserve all of this, if we don't really do anything for it, then who is going to do it,
Okay.
Now, I am incredibly proud of my Maharashtrian culture. My food, the places I've grown up visiting, our freedom fighters, their stories, the deep meaning behind our festivals, our language,
Yes,
yes,
for
yes,
sure.
and the deep meaning behind our festivals and our language. And I'm incredibly proud of all of this, and every bit of it is worth sharing it, I think. And it's really sad, as you said, that all of this is slowly fading away,
Yeah.
and that hurts. So I feel that even a smallest effort of mine that I take, if that sparks curiosity or pride in the next generation, then it is worth it.
Yeah.
Every bit of it is worth it.
True. This is a fun thing. I know we didn't discuss it, but I really want to do it. Can you teach our audience who's watching an easy thing to say in Marathi that they can remember, like maybe one word or anything, whatever. That's fun. That's easy to remember.
Yeah, Jevliska.
Jevliska.
Yeah.
Okay, what does it mean?
Have you had food?
Oh, okay. So then to
Have you
ask
had your
someone, you're
meal?
like Jevliska.
Jevliska. Yes.
Jevliska.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Remember that audience? Shweta just taught us Jevliska.
Yes. It
Okay.
is something very simple, but it resonates with me with the type of content I make. It's all about food, feeding people. So a lot of times I come from home. A lot of times I'm at home, and after I'm done with my work, I'll be like asking my kids or my husband, Jevlaska, so which just means like,
Have you eaten?
have you had your meal?
Okay. So
Yeah.
it's like a go-to dialogue.
Yes.
Such a mother thing to say. I'll be very honest. In my mom, one meal I've not finished, she's be there. She's
Exactly.
like, eat fruits. I'm like, I just finished lunch.
Yes.
She's like, yeah, but fruits.
Yes.
She says it, fruits se pet nahi bharta, just translating it, that
Yeah.
fruits don't fill your stomach. But I'm like, I can't eat it.
Yeah.
Then she like, give me some chas, which is buttermilk. She's like, this is good for your gut, just drink it. I'm like, let me breathe. So whenever I go to India and come back, I always gain weight. There's no
Yes.
way that...
That is the beauty of it, I think.
I think this is the mother's trick. Like, that's why you also say javeless.
I was not like this when I was a teenager, when I was in my mother's house. Now I have become like that.
I think we end up becoming like our mothers who we did not want to become. You're like, no, I'll not force my kids to eat. And then you're like, eat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything is about food.
Yeah, everything is about food. I love feeding people too. It's a very cultural thing, I feel.
Yeah, it is.
It is, yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask you this. Can you tell parents 3 tips, that they can use to pass on their tradition and culture, be it the Indian culture, be it any other culture? What are 3 tips that they can use where it's not forceful, but it is fun, and it is, kids also want to be part of it, because these days if you force kids, they're like, sorry, who are you to force me?
Yeah,
How
doesn't
dare you
work.
force me?
Yeah.
Now I'm not going to do it. Like, they're rebellion. So what are 3 easy ways that they can be involved, and they also be like, okay, wow, this is fun, I want to know more about it.
Yeah. So I guess, look, passing on culture shouldn't feel like, a school lesson or something like that. It should just feel like more natural or more easy. So simple steps but consistent steps does help. So something like, could be as simple as steps like the first one would be having a evening routine at home, like a evening prayer routine with your kids at home. That helps a lot. It could be just, lighting up the diya together, or, sitting down together, having a moment of calm, having a calm moment there, or just looking at a flame can also calm you down. That it has scientific research behind it. So
You're a clinical researcher, so I'll believe you.
yeah, so look, something like that, but consistent steps, small steps would definitely help. Second thing I would say is through food. So there's nothing like as easy as bringing culture to food. Bringing culture to table is through food, and literally it's the most easiest way, I think. A lot of Indian parents, and they're my friends, they love a Indian hearty meal to like sabzi roti dal chawal, but they are still making 2 meals at home. One is for
Okay.
themselves and one is for their kids. because their kids don't have a habit of eating.
Oh my God, how can someone make 2 meals?
Exactly.
Making one
So
meal
much,
is so difficult.
so much work. So I mean, my advice to somebody, if you really love something like this, if you are something, who are eating a dal chawal sabzi roti or a person like that, then I would suggest you get your kids onto that as early as possible.
Yep.
It is the most easiest way to keep those flavors and those memories alive in your house. So that one thing. Third tip I would say is getting your kids to deal with a little bit of hands-on experience. Like give them some hands-on experience during the time of festivals. Maybe like a DIY craft lantern. Let them do it for Diwali, or get them to do whatever type of puja, whichever way or form you're doing. Get the kids to do it with you, a
Yeah.
little bits and pieces. So all these things, believe it or not, they stick around with kids way more longer than what you think. And the more we do all of this casually, the more it creates a lot of impact on the kids without even trying. So
Yeah, it becomes like an everyday routine habit.
exactly. So
Yeah, for
it'll
sure.
definitely help you in long way.
Yeah,
That's what
true.
I feel.
Love that. That's actually a great idea, but great tips. Also, I have another question for people like me. Obviously, I don't have kids, but I belong to a certain culture. How do I get myself, or people my age? How do we get ourselves, like, we're so busy in life, we don't. I know about culture, but I've never like done a prayer service or things like that. What are any tips or any advice that you would like to give for us to just get started on these things? Because I do agree, whenever I go to a temple, even though like I'm not an ISKCON follower, but whenever I go to a temple in Australia, it makes me feel something different, which never made me feel. But I'm just unable to follow the whole tradition part. I am super traditional, follow all festivals, but the main ones. But every day, how do I bring that in my life? Any advice for people like me?
I think it is same that applies to what I've just said for what we've done for kids also. No God would ever say to you that you do so and so for me. There's no expectation like that from any God. Whichever God you follow in your house, Ganpati hai, Lakshmi hai, Mahadev hai, anything.
Even if it's Jesus or Allah, for a matter of fact,
Yeah.
I would say that.
Nobody would. I mean, any religion doesn't really force you to do certain things in a certain way or anything like that. I think just sitting down calmly, having faith in that, and having a little bit of routine, and even lighting up a diya, just as just what I said. Even all these simple steps are going to help you in long way.
The fire alarm doesn't get on with by lighting the diya.
No, it
No,
doesn't.
thank God. That's a very big important thing for me. I'm so scared. I'm like, shit, the fire alarm goes on.
Yeah, I mean, you stay at home, right? When you're doing it in the evening. Once you're back from work, you're done and you've had a shower and everything, you're ready for dinner. Just before that, it just takes 5-10 minutes to do all of this. And it gives you a lot of satisfaction and a lot of strength. And I think it calms you down once you look at the flame. So I think simple steps. It doesn't ask you more time.
Yeah, and then giving 5 minutes. Yeah, give 5 minutes, you might just get $500 back for each 5 minutes. Put it that way, we might just do more of it.
We wish.
I wish. I swear, I agree. Like, if that was the case, people would just be praying and no one would be working. No, don't listen to me, guys. I am just like, do it it's out of intention.
Absolutely.
It's not out of greed. If you do it
Bilkul.
yeah. If you do it out of greed, no, you're gonna get nothing. And also, what's your vision with your content? I know you're sharing all of this, but do you have like a vision? What's your plan with it?
Look, I do have. So, my vision is really straightforward, Sarah. Like, I want to be able to create quality content. I do not want to compromise on that ever. So, as long as I intend to do this, I want to create quality content. Like, I've come to realize that we as social media content creators, we are not just the people who creates reels and videos. Some other day, there's a friend who was introducing me to the other person. He said to me that, this is Shweta Sakode, and वो नहीं वो reels or videos बनाते हैं.
Just for translation, the person who makes reels and videos.
Yeah. And I'm like thinking in my head that I'm not just that person who makes reels and videos, for God's sake. Like,
Yep.
to me, content creators are more than that. We have a bigger responsibility. There is a reason why we're called as influencers, because we have the capacity to influence people's thoughts.
Yeah, true.
We could either negatively impact somebody's thoughts or positively impact somebody's thoughts. Now, in today's world where there are so many people scrolling through social media like LinkedIn and sorry, not LinkedIn, but scrolling.
That'll be not bad. LinkedIn also. LinkedIn has started videos. Do you know that? And then now it's
Yeah.
promoting videos.
Yeah, I have seen that.
Yeah.
Yes. scrolling through social media like, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram and Twitter. So what I put out there in the digital space really matters to me.
Yeah.
And I just want to either my content is either going to uplift somebody's thoughts or make them feel that they're not doing enough, which is not nice. Like I don't want to do that. It's a big responsibility.
Yes.
And that's why I'm really clear on creating quality content. I'm not here to set unrealistic expectations, or I'm not here to show off my fancy stuff. I'm just here to uplift, motivate, inspire, or bring a small moment of joy in somebody's day. And I think I'm not even a pro doing that. I'm just a middle class ordinary woman who loves her roots and who loves to share that love with other people.
Oh,
And
that was really sweet what you said. I like it.
yeah, and I think sometimes my content would be around sharing traditions, rituals, festivals. Sometimes it's around me going different places across Australia.
Yep.
In future, I want to talk a little bit more about, the challenges that we face as Indian diaspora here, settling in suburbs, or how do you choose schools for kids,
Yeah.
or how do you navigate your life in Australia.
I think that is something really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real stuff. I want to talk about real stuff.
Yeah.
So really, like, this is my vision, to be able to create quality content, something that can make genuine difference in something. Otherwise, फालतू का काम करने के लिए I do not have the energy and the time. I'm
Yeah.
spending a lot of time in this, and I want to use my time wisely. That is something I'm clear on. A lot of people ask me this question, by the way. तुम्हें exactly करना क्या है? So I say, वो नहीं पता मुझे करना क्या है, but अच्छा कुछ करना है ये पता है.
Yeah. Translation, let me give that.
Do that.
Lots of people ask her, what do you want to do? And then she's like, I don't know what I want to do, but I want to do something good.
Yeah. Create
Yeah.
quality content.
Great
That is my
quality.
vision.
Okay, that is lovely. Where can my audience find Shweta?
I am everywhere. Like, they can find
What
me.
is your name? Like, what's your name or something? I'll put the link, or I'll put the link
Thank
in your
you.
description. Oh, in case, where can they find you? Instagram?
Yes, I'm on Instagram. It's shweta.sakode on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. But on Instagram is where I am most active on.
Okay, that was amazing. Is there anything else that you want to add, Shweta?
Not really. Thank you so much, Sarah, for covering
Before we
everything.
go, there is the very important part of the podcast, the most important.
Okay.
The rapid fire round.
Oh my God.
Which has the Anchor cookie and the Dropout Chai Wala hampers. Just gonna let you know, you're gonna get your kids. I don't know if you, but your kids will get a
Wow.
pack of Anchor cookie.
Wow.
And there's a box of tea as well from Dropout Chai
thank you
Wala.
so much.
But I'll give it to you only in one condition.
Okay.
If the rapid fire questions that you answer are
Okay.
good enough.
Oh my God. I have to now win this. Yeah, for my kids.
Yeah, for your kids. Do it
Yeah.
for your kids. Okay. Very simple. As
Okay.
the name says, rapid fire. I'm gonna ask
Okay.
you questions. Rapidly, you're gonna answer me questions.
Okay,
Answer
how
them.
long is it? Should I take like 15, 20 seconds or?
Quick.
Quick,
Just
okay,
as
alright.
quick as
I'll
possible.
be quick.
Yeah. For your kids, remember. This
For
is for
my
your
kids. Okay.
Okay, perfect. The first question. Tea or coffee?
Neither.
I know. I asked you if you want
Yeah,
anything.
neither.
What is this? You
No.
don't drink anything?
Tea or coffee makes me sick. It makes me feel go to the bathroom, or I can't. No, it makes me feel sick.
Then what do you drink?
Pani, sirf pani, sirf plain
Water.
water, plain water. Yes.
I'm so sad. I think you lost -1. Just saying you're going on minus. Okay, what is one thing that you that is underrated about Australia?
I think the coffee.
You don't drink it, so you have no right to say that.
But I'll still say coffee because I see a cup of coffee in everybody's hand.
Agreed.
Whether it's workplace or walking around on the streets.
Have you never had coffee and
I've
tea?
never had coffee or tea. Sorry. I
Oh my
mean,
God.
am I not eligible to sit here for a
I
podcast?
think so. No, we're gonna cancel this. But anyway, okay. What
Yeah.
is the most overrated thing about Australia?
The kangaroos here.
Why? They're like so cute.
They are cute, but it's just everywhere. People think they are quite overrated, but the place where I live has kangaroos just everywhere.
Oh my
around me.
god, you live in a suburb. I don't see them
It's
every day.
literally on the streets, so I think they are overrated.
I'm just intrigued. Do they actually come and invade and like punch people, or do they do those
I mean,
things?
they can come to your doorstep.
And do they
live-
like harm and everything or no?
No, they come in the way when you're driving on a highway, so you have to be very careful. You might just dash into them and have a big car crash in them, and there's a lot of damage that can happen to your car. But I think they're overrated.
Okay, I think you see them every day.
That's
I
why.
find I have And I've been in Australia for so long, but I've seen very few kangaroos.
Is it? Oh my god! You should come to visit where I live. You will see
I can't
kangaroos
believe I've come to
everywhere.
your place to visit to see kangaroos.
You will see them everywhere around my house.
Okay. My next question. If for 24 hours you could make something for $1, what would you make?
For $1.
Anything.
Oh, I think I'd because I do a little bit of crafting as well. I do my handmade greeting cards. I would love to make some beautiful thank you rainbow cards, and that is something I can.
Sell for $1?
Yeah, anybody would love it. It can bring a lot of smile and
Yeah.
joy to
Yeah.
somebody's day.
But then what about your effort? You get only paid $1.
I do a lot of cards for charity as well and non-for-profit organizations. I think that doesn't bother to me.
Okay,
It'll
that's
be very
very
nice.
sweet.
Yeah.
I would say that's the sweetest answer. People have been greedy now. I
Oh,
feel
no.
thinking of what answer they've given.
I think that is something. I think greeting cards give a lot of joy. They're quite underrated, but they bring a lot of joy in somebody's day.
Okay.
A handwritten greeting card.
Yeah, that is. I completely agree. Okay, which is your favorite festival?
Gudi Padwa, which is Maharashtrian New Year.
Okay, and why? Like, what happens in Gudi Padwa?
It's just a beautiful time of the year. Like it actually happens at the start of the spring season in India, but here it's starting autumn at that time. But it just brings that vibe, the festival food that is made on that day, which is shrikhand, which is sweetened yogurt kind of a dish. Puri, sabzi. It's just amazing vibe that day. Yeah,
Okay.
love that festival.
Okay.
One of my favorite
I
festivals.
just remember that festival because we used to get a holiday in our school. So,
Did you?
Yeah.
Because it's Ugadi or...
I don't know. I'm from Mumbai, right? So.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So Gudi Padwa there used to be a holiday.
Yes, I thought you were from North, but
No.
Maharashtrians, yes. In Maharashtra, there is a public holiday for
Yeah,
Gudi
so
Padwa.
I remember Gudi Padwa for a public holiday.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's why it was one of the festivals. Or like
Yes.
any festival that gives us a holiday used to
Absolutely.
be my favorite holiday. But anyway, my last question is name 3 local businesses that you think should be viral or more people should know about them.
3 businesses that should be viral. Okay. Can be anything like
Anything.
food. Okay.
Anything.
Okay. Recently, I tried a Biscoff tres leches from a family-owned baker. They are based in Wallert. I don't think so. I know their name. Their name is Sweets and Co.
Okay.
They are amazing. Like they are heaven.
Okay.
Like it was the most moist, amazing cake I've ever had. That one thing, and the second one thing,
What was the name again?
Sweets and Co.
Sweets and Co. Okay.
Yeah. The second thing I would say, they are not even a small business, but they could be pretty big that even I'm not even thinking that much. But they are Chai and Chili. They are like an Indian restaurant here in the city
Yep.
on King Street. They specialize in Marathi food.
Just saying, Dropout Chaiwala is also amazing.
Oh, yes, they are. Oh my god, that everything on their menu in Chai and Chili is incredible.
It's Maharashtrian food, yeah.
It is incredible. And then the third place that is, there's this Indian grocery store close to the place where I live. I was talking about it, A&H Grocers. They source this locally made Navratan laddu.
Okay.
They are the best laddus I've ever had. Like, I didn't even have that kind of a laddu back in India. Not the motichur ka laddu, like the small ones. No, this is like a big bundi ka laddu that you get in a temple on your hand as a prasad. So this is the best laddu that I've ever had.
You know, this has happened to me sometimes that some food items I've tried in Australia and they've tasted better than back at home.
I know.
That happens?
And Indian items.
But not always.
Yes, sometimes.
Very rare.
Very
but
rarely.
Sometimes you're like, what just happened? How
Yeah.
can this be?
And sometimes I feel that when you go to a place, like especially an Indian restaurant here in Melbourne, you get something to eat. No guarantee that the next time you're gonna get
Same.
something like that.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I agree.
Like, when I go somewhere in a Indian restaurant, I've eaten like a fish fry or something, and I'm like, wow, this is the best. But no guarantee you're gonna get the same thing next time. No
Same.
guarantee.
I had this one place we used to have biryani from. Oh, we were obsessed for months. We used to have it. Then suddenly we didn't order, and then we ordered after some time. We're like, oh, I'm craving biryani. We ordered worst experience because, and we were like, we were raving about it to everyone, like best biryani. This is so good. And then we ordered it one day. It was so bad, so bad. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I think the chef changed. What happened?
Yeah.
Even one other Indian place, we used to order noodles from there.
Yeah.
we used to call them, we like tell the lady chef to make it, not the male chef, because I don't know how we figured it out. Like there was one when we had ordered two, and one was made by the male chef, one was made by the lady chef. We asked him who made it. So then we're like, we used to place the order and call you like, please make sure the lady chef makes it.
Yeah. Look, we're very particular about the food, okay? We're paying that much money and the emotions and heart is attached to it.
Exactly.
We
You
really
pay
want
them.
good food. Otherwise, it's a lot of disappointment which I cannot deal with. My heart can't take it on.
I completely agree. But anyway, I'm gonna say that your one answer, the $1 one answer, gave it away. Your rest of the answers
Not
were
that great.
very down the drain, like falling down. But that one was very good. So this is for your kids. Here's
Thank you
your
so
Anka
much.
cookie
Oh my
co
God, my kids
and
are gonna be
proper
so
chai wala
happy.
hamper.
Thank you, Sarah.
No worries. But anyway, Shweta, it was lovely having you, and thank you so much for sharing your culture, your intentions, why you create content. Now, I want people to know that you're not just a content creator, but you're here to influence in the most positive way and to create impact and share about how to grow together as a community.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Lovely.